We are not in the knife sharpening shop today. I am out in Mineral, Virginia, where I have a lake house. I am currently walking my dog. Last night we had our Guild of Professional Sharpeners meeting, and where I am today, and a couple things that came up at the meeting last night gave me some ideas of some things to talk about. And one of those is keeping your sharpening business fun and keeping control of your business as far as your time and your free time. And that's part of the reason why I'm showing you one of my happy places to come to, which is my lake house. And that's going to be the topic for today. And I will get into a little bit about that. And I'll talk a little bit about the guild meeting last night. It was pretty cool. We have some new members, and even the conversations with the new members is what made me think of some of this topic for today. So last night we had our Guild of Sharpeners meeting, and it was pretty cool. We had two new members. One was a guy named Brian. Brian's an accountant, very excited about starting a sharpening business. And Brian and I have a lot in common in our approach to business. And the other new member was a carpenter who it sounds like he's pretty close to retiring. And I could also relate to his situation. And one of the interesting things I noticed, he had a lot of reluctance on whether he wanted to go down starting a sharpening business. And his main reason was because he knows he's getting ready to retire, and he's like, I don't want to have another business that eats up all of my time. And I can totally relate to that, because when I left police work, I made a promise to myself when I first retired from my first career that if I was doing something that I didn't enjoy, that I wasn't going to keep doing it. So if I took a job, I promised myself, like, hey, if this is not something I love doing and not something I want to be doing, I'm gone. I'm out of here. I will literally walk out the very next day and just say, hey, sorry, it's not for me. And I think that's important, whether if you're starting out another career, or you're looking at going into knife sharpening as a full-time gig to make money. Both are great, but it is important to keep your focus and make sure that you're getting out of it what you want. And so it was really cool to see that other person's perspective and his reluctance there, because it's an interesting spot that I find myself in now. My knife sharpening has become very successful, even to the point where it takes up more of my time than I want it to. And that's one of the great things, like, that the guild has helped me with the last couple meetings, is keeping my focus and make sure that I'm getting out of it what I want. And we had a guest speaker from District Cutlery in Washington, D.C. a couple weeks ago. And that was a real eye opener for me, because he came in and he talked about how, they got into doing sales because they had to, because to make the rent for their location for their sharpening business, they had to sell knives. And he a lot of his time sharpening gets eaten up with selling knives. And that made me think about, is my time being spent well, and am I getting into any areas with my sharpening that I don't want to be doing, and is it taking up too much of my time? And one of the reasons why I'm at my lake house, I realized, you know what, man, I haven't been in my lake house in months, and it's been far too long. And so I realized, like, hey, I need to cut back a little bit on my sharpening. I need to take control of my calendar. I need to make sure that I'm not spending too much time sharpening and focused on that one business, and to the point where it's going to end up being not enjoyable for me, and I don't want that to happen. And as you know, sometimes when something takes off and it's really super successful, that doesn't mean you have to keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, and for a while I was there. I was like, I was motivated. I wanted to be the best sharpener in that region, and I wanted to, I was thinking about, do I want to get into other things? Do I want to sell knives? Do I want to do these other things? And after hearing the guy from District Cutlery talk, and realizing that because he has a regular brick and mortar business, and he's in retail sales, um, he's not always doing what he wanted to do. And he actually said, if he had a choice, he would just be a mobile sharpener. And and that was kind of, eye opening for me. That it was like, you know what? Don't make this into something that you're not going to love. So that's why I'm here. I took a couple days off, and I closed my shop for a few days, and I said, I'm going to my lake house. And I, I'm going to be very careful, going forward, because now, my wife's home, back from overseas, and the business is still really successful. But I want it to maintain being something that I love doing. And it currently is that. And I want it to stay there. And I don't want to, make it get too big. I like still being in control of it. I thought about, should I get employees? Should I train people? And I decided, you know what? I don't want to do that, because it's not really falling into line with the things that I love about sharpening. And, I actually wrote a little list out of what is it that I love about sharpening. The number one thing was meeting people. And, I always got to meet people with police work, but you're not always meeting them under the best circumstances. And I love talking to my customers. I love when they're interested in sharpening. I talk to them about sharpening. They can come in the shop. Um, a couple changes I've done recently. I didn't, for a long time, I didn't do like onesies if someone needed something sharpened right away. Um, I wasn't really making myself available to that. I've kind of changed doing that, and because I know, I can bang one knife out really fast, and it gives me an opportunity to interact with people more, which is something that I really enjoy doing. So, just little things to keep in mind when you're looking at your business, and making sure that it's still something that you're enjoying doing. And I would say to that member who's thinking of retiring from carpentry, the fact that you're aware of that already is great, and I think you'll be fine. Don't I wouldn't be afraid of don't be afraid of getting into it. Just, make sure you keep control over it. Make sure that you are doing the things that you love. And I think I kind of missed the one point, but so I said, my favorite things were meeting people. My second favorite thing was tinkering with things and modifying tools in the shop and customizing them to my own needs. That's my other favorite thing. My third favorite thing was making videos. So I love making videos. I mentioned before, I've been a photographer since my early teenage years. Um, and I've been able to incorporate some of my still photography, and now also doing like videos and things, which I was never an expert at. And I never did video with my photography stuff. I was pretty much a still photographer, but now I'm doing videos and things on YouTube, which have been fun and have been enjoyable for me. And, I love when I get feedback from people that say that, one of my videos helped them. So that's it. I kind of end it there. And that's just my thoughts for today about, make sure that you're on the path that you want to be on with your business. And that's one of the things like I love about the guild. I just will remind everybody, I'll put a link into the guild if you're interested in becoming a sharpener or starting a sharpening business. The guild's a great place. I don't own the guild. I get no benefit from people joining the guild or anything like that. I'm just a member. Um, So just to be upfront with that, but it for me, it's been very helpful in helping me keep my business where I truly want it to be without, you know, getting sucked into a trap of like I got to be bigger, faster, and end up building a business that I'm going to regret at some point or not love like I still love now. So that's it. And I hope this is helpful to some of you. And I will talk to you all later. And got more videos coming out that are back on the topic of actual doing sharpening. But I just wanted to share that with everybody today. Have a great one, gang. And I will be back in the shop on Monday. And today is Friday. So yeah, my first 3 days off in over a year's time. I will talk to you later. Bye.